Hello from the UK and welcome to the latest edition of Vinyl Melange. And today's album is Adventure by Television, which was released on the Elektra record label in 1978. Television's debut album, Marquee Moon, from 1977, was the first album to attract support from both punks and old hippies. The long drawn-out guitar solos appealed to fans of 60s West Coast acts like Quicksilver Messenger Service and Moby Grape, and the two guitars, bass and drums stripped back production attracted a young audience wanting something new and more immediate. Marquee Moon was always going to be a hard album to follow up. History hasn't been particularly kind to Adventure, often dismissing it as a misstep after one of the greatest debut albums of all time. In actual fact, it sold more copies than Marquee Moon in the United States. Music critics there were generally supportive. Ken Emerson's review in Rolling Stone magazine was a fair assessment. He wrote, "It lacks the jagged tension and mysterious drama that imbued last year's Marquee Moon with such dark but lucid power. The music is dreamier and much more benign here, more apt to charm than to challenge." UK sales, I suspect, were adversely affected by a scathing review from enfant terrible Julie Burchill in the New Musical Express. Her tone was anti-American and over the top. She wrote more acid casualty type gibberish in the tradition of Marquee Moon, and she went on to call it an arty abomination. In the real world, inhabited by unbiased music fans, and listened to in 2021 back to back with Marquee Moon, I would argue that it is a worthy follow-up. All of the songs are of a consistently high standard. The uplifting Glory and hook-laden Foxhole were great singles. Days is a sedate melodic highlight. The more produced sound works best on Carried Away, with its piano and organ introduction, although you are ultimately left disappointed that it does not climax in a guitar shredding solo. Side 2 dips on the Slow the Fire, but ends on a high with The Dream's Dream. It starts with a Byrds-influenced raga rock guitar riff, threatens at one point to give the 10-minute plus Marquee Moon a run for its money in the guitar histrionics, but settles instead for a more tranquil, soothing and sweet-sounding finale. What lets Adventure down is that it does not develop further the raucous, ambitious at the end of their Teva guitar duels between Tom Verlaine and Richard Lloyd. On their debut album, it felt like a series of live takes in the studio. The production on Adventure is a little flat and the guitar solos polite, possibly in a deliberate attempt to try and attract plays on AOR-fixated US radio. Tom Verlaine's aspirations to poetry render most of the lyrics meaningless and unengaging. The real poet in the band, Richard Hell, bailed out after their debut single, Little Johnny Jewel. But having said all that, there is still much to enjoy in the melodies and guitar interplay. I stand by my contention that Adventure is a worthy follow-up to an album that is almost universally loved by music critics and fans. Let me know what you think in the comments below.